masculinity doesn't have to prove itself or be toxic or be violent or be belittling or degrading or any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's going to balance.
Majority of women have their narcissism fueled more.
No. So you gotta realize he's simping and tricking are two different
They're
things.
constantly comparing to lions and
because you guys have been rocking with the Lurker and Godmomma for some years. So truly appreciated that I even have this much of a platform to utilize to move forward with the type of projects I want to do. So thank you all for, being.
True masculinity doesn't have to prove itself or be toxic or be violent or be belittling or degrading or any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's going to balance.
Majority of women have their narcissism fueled more.
No. So you gotta realize he's simping and tricking are two different
they're
things.
constantly comparing to lions and
because you guys have been rocking with the Lurker and Godmomma for some years. So truly appreciated that I even have this much of a platform to utilize to move forward with the type of projects I want to do. So thank you all for, being.
Ooh, we grand rising, everybody.
Rich rise.
Rich rise. Grand rise. Ooh, it is April 3rd, and we are back with trending topics and current events. Oh, and there's a lot of that going on. A lot. So we're just going to dive into a couple of them and keep it pushing.
Hope y'all woke up on a good foot this rising, or hope you're having a good evening on the replay today. Hopefully everybody slept well. It's
I know
freaking
that's right.
cold here. So.
That's what I was about to say. I heard a cold storm came through.
Because April is bipolar right now, so whatever.
It really is. It really is. I thought it was just Texas. No. Oh, okay. Hubby said he's live and he's listening. Okay. You could stream us. We don't care.
Hi, hey, Quan's gaming channel. There, Rich Rise.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Over into Quan's head. One of the things I want to get into, because yesterday, we found us another predator. And they do come in all shapes, sizes, race, and creeds. But trending topics and current events, we got a huge one, right? We got us a big one. Everybody's up in arms about this P. Diddy situation. And he got raided.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it was before the holiday weekend or during the holiday weekend, but he got raided. In 2 locations, right? New York and in Florida.
Right.
2 of his houses got raided.
And baby left his sons. This nigga hops on a plane and leaves his sons to deal with the mess. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
He did. That's what he did. And then one of the people he jumped in an airplane with, there's a lot of conspiracy going around. And I like conspiracy. So this right up my little alley. But one of the people that jumped on his little private plane with him ended up catching a case for drugs. And word through the street, this is rumor, this is alleged, that the boy that got arrested happened to be Puff Daddy's personal drug runner.
Yeah.
So, and when you got money to move like that, you know what I mean? Why wouldn't you have a personal drug runner? If that's what you're into. I'm hearing all kinds of things, but we're gonna get into a little bit of it because it's a lot. This P. Diddy case is a lot. Or Puff Daddy. P. Diddy. I don't know what to call him. Sean Combs. There we go.
Make sure you guys please hit the like, share, subscribe if you're new here. Thank you.
please and thank you. So we're gonna get into a little bit of this P Diddy. Supposedly, now I'm gonna say allegedly for entertainment purposes only.
Mm-hmm.
There's something called pink cocaine.
Mm.
And they're saying, I went on a deep dive with this Puff Daddy stuff. I did. And they're saying that's what Puff's on, and that's what causes him to be, so out of his body at some of these parties. What pink cocaine is, it is a cocktail. It is, and it came out of Colombia. And it was invented by a woman, but basically it's just MDMA or whatever. It's got like some ecstasy mixed in there, a little bit of fentanyl, a little bit of coke. It is just a cocktail of drugs, illicit substances. And I guess Puff Daddy really be going down there to Florida and turning up, because that's where it's popular at, is in Florida. So I guess he be going down to Florida, peeing on, his girlfriend, Young Miami, and bringing his drug meal with him, and then going back and doing some P Diddy parties. And in those parties, this is what we're hearing again, allegedly. When he go back with his little party and his drug mules, he invites we've seen it, LeBron James, Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing a lot of Obama. He even had some of the royal family over there. And I guess he had cameras set up in all his little bedrooms and turned people on to pink cocaine, and everybody just got buck wild. And then I guess he was pulling like an R. Kelly. He started him a little archive of the footage. Homeland Security comes in, and nothing has been heard of since. Nobody, and I know it's an ongoing investigation. It's going to take some time. But what word on the street is saying is that Puffy is so well connected that the feds went in there, basically, Homeland Security went in there to get any type of incriminating evidence that might go against some of these higher ups. And they're not going to turn it to the state for evidence. This is alleged. They're not going to turn it over to the state, that they're just going to go destroy it.
Right. And that's my area, right? The tinfoil hat, put it on, and squeezes too tight.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the conspiracy theorists, a lot of us are just like, we're sitting back drinking tea, coffee, and giggling, because a lot of conspiracy world has been saying this about Puff, that he is interconnected, he is intertwined, he is part of human trafficking, child trafficking, rituals, deep, dark rituals. And everybody kept saying, y'all are crazy. He wouldn't do things like that. But, and I said this yesterday, what shocks me is that everybody is shocked. That's what shocks me. They found underground tunnels in his house, and everybody is shocked. And I'm like, why are y'all shocked? Every one of those homes, Diddy, Oprah, they all have underground tunnels because they work in these networks. And that was one of the things people were saying, like, yes, we're excited he's getting raided. Yes, we're excited, he's going to pay for his crimes, but the real people are not going to have to pay for their crimes, because they're going in there and they're washing and hiding and destroying a lot of the evidence of big judges, Supreme Court judges, governors. Trump tried to tell people, but I'm gonna go on mute. I'm just
Right. And my thing is, I was gonna say, because I like conspiracy too, but I also like to check my conspiracy real quick. Like, I don't want to go too far. Because I'm like, if they went in there to raid him, like, why was it so public? Why wasn't it in the nighttime? And I think the Florida house was hit before daybreak. But why wasn't it more? If you're going, I don't understand why it was so publicized. If you're going in there to stash incriminating evidence, why was the raid so publicized? That's what I don't understand. So I don't know if I'm ready to jump off the train of they went in there to hide evidence quite yet. But I wouldn't be surprised if, hello, there's crooked cops every which way. So I wouldn't be
Right.
shocked if some evidence happened to get lost, quote unquote lost, or misplaced. Um, but to what degree, I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell. And I'm not
Time, yeah.
shocked with all the parties and the druggies and I'm not shocked by that in the slightest. Um,
No.
I just don't want
Mm-mm.
another Epstein situation where I'm not saying P. Diddy's about to get, arrested. All this is alleged, but I don't want another Epstein situation where they're not going to publicize the information. Let us know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If we can hear all the details in the Cassie situation, then I want to know all the details in the actual legal situation. I don't want it to be hush hush. I really don't like that. So
Well,
time will tell.
I think this is going to be. I think that this is going to get deeper than what it is now. I mean, I know a lot of celebrities are starting to speak up. A lot of people are starting to come out of the closet, saying, "Yes, this is what happened to me too." But that's not heavy hitting names. Um, I'm curious to see how this plays out for Mr. Carter. That's what I'm curious because here Mr. Carter and Mr. Combs were very, very close for all of these years.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere he was, parties, they were standing shoulder to shoulder with each other. So that's what I'm curious about because when one when one domino falls, it's just a matter of time until that other until it
Mm-hmm.
hits you, until you're the one next in line. It's only a matter of time. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's just all of the things that have been transpiring with Beyonce's new country album and the songs that she's put in that album and how they correlate to certain events that she has been accused of. I'll get into that on another day deeper. But a lot of this entertainment industry, if you just sit and pay attention to the lyrics and not get caught up in the beat, they tell on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Every
Yep.
lyric you'll hear somebody saying, and I went to a Diddy party and shit got crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So they tell, if Young Thug can be on trial for his lyrics, then it's gonna start trickling down. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just uh Young Thugger. They got that Murder on My Mind guy, the guy that sings that.
Hmm.
I think his name's Melly or something.
Yeah,
Um,
Melly.
yeah, they're trying to incriminate him on his lyrics as well. And that's a whole shit show over there. But I agree. These people are, if you pay attention, the signs are there. They're telling us, they're showing us. To what degree? Like I said, I think that's something that will be revealed as time goes on. But pay attention, sharpen up your discernment. Don't just be going along to get along. Have you wrapped up in some stuff you don't really agree with?
Right. And
Um,
remember these, just before you move on, remember that these celebrities are pushed on us in a sense of
yes, yes.
deities and demigods, right? They're pushed
Mhm,
on us in a sense that they are a god or a step down from God, his messenger, I would say. So just, with us moving into a new space and time, try to break that cycle within yourself of seeing celebrities as something higher than you, because that's what I get into arguments with people a lot is when I call out celebrities or I say, well, if this celebrity is worth $1 billion, why is the black community suffering? I get screamed at because that's not their job. That's
mm,
not that black celebrity's job to put back into the black community. And I have issues with that. That's again another topic for another day. I have issues with that, but it all kind of stems down to the community looking at celebrities as idols and
yep,
worshiping the idol. And that's a hell no. Whether you believe in Christianity or you don't believe in Christianity, you know that idol worship sometimes always isn't the best thing for you.
correct. And people need to keep that match these celebrities' energy. If they don't give a fuck, why do you give a fuck?
Right.
As far I'm talking about, you know what I mean, the support and the fandom and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's that thing we talked about yesterday. You know, is going back to the Jay-Z and the P Diddy and the Meek Mills and all these people rubbing elbows together. Watch the company you keep, and this is
Mm-hmm.
something I've been battling with. As far, and I don't want to put this too much on men because I don't like to divide us based on genders. But y'all got to start speaking up, man. Not just closing the door and saying, "Oh shit, those P Diddy parties are crazy, man," and then never discuss it again. Why y'all ain't holding your
Right.
brothers, quote unquote, I'm saying brothers loosely. Why y'all ain't holding each other accountable? If you know your homeboy is a rapist, why you ain't took him out back?
Right.
Why y'all gotta quit? If something ain't right, speak on it, call it out. Yesterday I was saying something passionately, like we are trying to prevent more victims,
Mm-hmm.
man. And if you guys are the physical, if you're superior because you're so strong, well, then why don't you flex that strength on these weirdos? Like y'all have got to stop these men. Don't just walk away and, oh, that was a crazy night last night. Dang, no. And these girls got drugged up or whatever. I'm not just saying in Pete Diddy's situation, but in any situation. And then you'll go hang out with him a couple months later. Nah, I can't rock with you. Your homeboy, I can't do that. So start holding these people. Start, you know what I'm saying? Pressing these niggas. Real talk. Hey,
Yeah, because
observing stuff.
Rich guys observing. What sense does it make? Your homeboy is the type of man that puts roofies in a drink, but you still want to go out with him. You are just as liable for him
Mm,
as he is, in my
mm.
opinion.
I agree. I agree. And with these men, they're saying P. Diddy has like, I'm not trying to laugh because it's whatever, but I guess he's like down low, right? Or he's gay or bisexual or something. That's another thing. Um, that so there could be male victims. Like it's not just women that are in danger at some of these parties. Y'all are, you know, getting other men intoxicated and drugged up and you know what I'm saying, having your way with them. This has got to stop.
Hmm.
If you guys are the physically stronger species, then you need to put some of that bronze to work. Okay? You do.
Right.
I'm gonna hold y'all accountable. Period. That's your homeboy. Oh, that's not my homeboy. I know about him from around the block. How are you guys even in the same spaces? Without, I mean, for me, because I know some female predators, and she gets the business. You know what I'm saying? Nonstop over here. So y'all got to do better, man. Come on. If you're here to protect and provide, start providing some of these receipts and start protecting people from these predators. Come on now, pick a side, gentlemen. Pick a side. But that's what's going on with P Diddy, and I know we don't give men a big platform for them to air out their grievances of being. Even Terry Crews was brought up in this P Diddy stuff, not because he was touched by P Diddy, but because Terry Crews was saying, "Hey, I've spoken out about being touched in the system. I've spoken about some of these celebrities and these hires up." And everybody was like, "Oh, you're a big man. Why didn't you beat his ass?" La, 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 la. And he's like, "Well, I froze up. I felt violated and da 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 da." So I have to keep that in mind as well. That just because you are a
Hmm.
big tough guy, that it is very intimidating and it is very violating for somebody to sexually exploit you. And you
Right.
won't
And you're
understand it until it happens to you. You just won't know that feeling. Every time you go take a shower, you have these images and these memories popping back up. So I get that. But at the same time,
mhm.
we can't just cower down from these predators. We can't.
Right.
That's not the answer. So we got to do some stuff. Yeah, I do too. Observing stuff. I do too. Um, and we have to make it acceptable to be blasting these predators. We have to, whether you've been violated as a man or a woman or an intersexual being, it's okay to blast them. And we need to normalize that, calling people out, holding people accountable. If we need to refix our judicial system, let's work on that as well. But for now, we got to clean these streets. And if we don't want to take it to the judicial system, baby, we got land, we got backyards. Okay, y'all ain't got no problem doing drive-bys. Well, can we drive by on these weirdos, these predators?
Right.
Can we do drive-bys on them?
Right. And even though Terry Crews, uh, he couldn't defend himself, right? He should have had a brother that would defend him for him, you know?
Mm, yep.
Uh, and it really bothers me, not you, but just when people are like, well, look how big he is. And, he could have crushed their head with one punch. He's so big. But do you realize the embarrassment that probably goes through that man's head because he's so big, because he's so manly, and he got taken advantage of? That lets you know that no matter how big or how small, it can happen to you.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
And there's not a thing you can do about it because of the body's response system.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will fight to their death, but most people are going to freeze the hell up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is okay. Like we have to start voicing to people that it is okay that you didn't fight back.
Yep.
It is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does it mean you wanted it? Doesn't mean you deserved it just because you didn't fight back.
That's right. Talk about it, Godmomma.
Especially for a man.
Talk
Because
about it.
I have had conversations with men over the years of being on the internet that have been violated and they don't want to talk about it
Mm-hmm.
because it's embarrassing to them. Because I'm a man. I'm supposed to be strong. I'm supposed to be stronger than you. But a woman violated me, and there was nothing I could do about it.
Mm-hmm.
A man violated me. There was nothing I could do about it. And now I feel a certain type of way. You know, and it's not our place as women to heal our brothers, our spouses, our mates. It's not our place to heal, but it's our place to understand that
Mm-hmm.
some of our men have gone through traumatic experiences and they never even breathe a word of it
Mm-hmm.
to anyone.
Suffering in silence.
hmm and I I tell my husband that all the time because men tend to do that, right? They tend to go sit down in the corner and think and process it by themselves. If I'll come to my husband and be like, if there's something you need to talk about, please talk about it. Let's not suffer in silence because you don't deserve to suffer in silence. No one deserves to suffer in silence.
That's right. That's right.
So,
And it's not our job to heal anybody except for ourselves, but as a compassionate human, as a concerned citizen, it is our duty to provide safe places
amen.
where you can heal. Not,
hmm
we see it all the time. That Nickelodeon. Not to jump all over the place, but since we're kind of sticking with this, that Nickelodeon situation that just popped out or resurfaced. Let me say it didn't just pop out, but resurfaced. And then go back to the B2K people.
hmm
Go back to the making of the band people. Whenever that Hassan Campbell, whenever they did speak out, they got clowned, and it's a joke. It's a running joke, right?
hmm
And we need to stop that. We need to stop that because I feel like men get mocked more than women do. Yes,
Yeah.
women do get questioned and look side eyed. Well, why were you there in the first place? Well, what were you wearing? We get that type of treatment where the men just flat out get made fun of right there in front of their faces, in front of their family, in front of their offender. You
hmm
know what I mean?
or even as observing said that last statement, or will be used as a weapon against you.
Mm-hmm.
Because
That's that.
I've heard plenty of stories of men being vulnerable with their partner, and then when their partner gets mad, they'll be like, "Well, that's why your uncle fucked you anyway." You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we
Yep.
cannot do that.
No, we can't. Mm-mm. Yeah. We need
I
to be
just want my
mindful of that.
brothers to know. I want my brothers to know that even though me alert talk shit and we pop shit, and it's just understand that it's always out of love. It's never out of hate or division. It's always out of love and trying to come to an understanding. So I want my brothers to know that this is a safe space for them.
Yes.
This is a
Yes.
very safe space for them, you
It
know,
is.
at all
And
times.
what's up, Dougie Fresh? Hi, baby. Long time no see, my love. And I wanna piggyback on that. It is a safe place for men and women. When we bring men over here to the panel, we need to treat them the same way we. If you treat me and Godmama a certain way, treat our guests the same way. Or Salt, he's a co-host as well. Treat these men the same way too. And maybe they're learning. Maybe they're, the same way I come up here and I think I know it all. I don't. And the same way Godmama can come and check me with love, we got to treat them in the same way too.
Hmm.
We got to be mindful of the men, of the atmosphere that we're creating for these men.
Right,
Yes, it's okay to iron sharpens iron. I understand that. But let's make it a place where that is what's happening. Iron is sharpening iron. We're not just overkilling over here.
right.
Hmm.
Yeah. We're not the He Man Men Haters Club over here. Sorry. Sorry to
We're
tell
not.
y'all.
We love men. We love men.
I love me some men. But y'all be fucking up and we be fucking up too. But
Hmm.
it is what it is.
And it's
It
okay to
is what
call
it
each
is.
other out, but it's not okay to make fun of anybody's trauma. Okay. Yes, your triggers are your responsibility, but your trauma is not. Okay.
Right,
The
right.
healing part is. So, and that's where we need to draw the line, period. So that's that on the P. Diddy situation. And of course, we'll be keeping an eye out for anything coming out. And if he happens to go to court, we will be on trial watch for that. Okay. I promise you. But
Okay.
let's shift gears over here. There's a lot going on in the country that is nothing to do
Mm-hmm.
with celebrities. Okay. And y'all, this immigration situation, I'm about to share my screen with y'all. We're going to get into a little bit of this. Now, Godmama, hi, Lion Pelt. Hi, baby. Y'all
Rich
come
Rise
on in
Lion
here.
Felt.
Hit that up like.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna creep over here real quick. So, Godmama, I don't know if we did it on a live stream. I don't know when we did it, but we share, or maybe you just uploaded a short or something. Either
Mm-hmm.
way, an immigrant, illegal immigrant, that went viral on TikTok, and he was basically saying, "Come to America. You can squat in all these houses. There's all kinds of houses. You don't have
Yeah.
work, you don't have to do anything. Come to America. They'll give you a prepaid visa, and you'll be good to go. And you can go squat. There's squatters' rights." He went viral. Well, he got arrested. I don't. What was the arrest for? What was his charges for, baby? Do you know?
No, I didn't read further into the thing 'cause I knew we would talk about it here.
Hmm.
But
Okay. Awesome.
I was just like, okay, they're listening. I see. Because
Hmm.
it was just if you missed the video, go to it was too long to be a short, so it's in just regular videos, not live. But he was basically screaming to other immigrants that are coming over here illegally to just go squat in other people's houses. And he was telling them like to come take over. That's how they're gonna come take over. And that's probably what got him hit was that we about to come take all this shit over vibe. Homeland
Well,
Security ain't playing that.
I was about to say, why Biden ain't been arrested yet? Because he damn near doing the same thing. He just ain't on TikTok screaming it. But Biden's doing the same thing that immigrant was. Our
Mm-hmm.
squatting, our housing crisis is at an all-time high right now with squatters' rights. You see, Florida just flipped the switch and said it's illegal now. Come to Florida if you want to, but you won't be squatting. Bloop. But I mean, Biden's doing the
Yeah,
same thing, in my humble opinion. I think Biden's doing the same thing.
yeah. Y'all,
Um,
listen, audience, y'all better learn squatters' rights because it ain't what y'all think it is. Only in certain states and certain areas can people get away with that shit.
mhm.
Just saying.
I've looked up like 4 different things. Okay, well, let's watch this video. Maybe this video will shine some light. 2019. Oh, that's where it's not saying what his charges are. Okay, well, let's watch this little video. I'm not sure when it was published, but this tweet came out today. So let me blow
Does
this
your
up.
house belong to you? Or if you are not using it, can someone just come in, squat for a period of time, and then claim that they have a right to be there?
A Venezuelan national dubbed the migrant influencer is at the center of controversy this morning. He has been using TikTok to coach migrants how to live in the U.S. by taking advantage of laws protecting squatters.
Una casa en United States.
In his most recent controversial TikTok video, Moreno is telling his followers to avoid living on the streets in the United States. They can, quote, invade empty homes and live there, saying under U.S. law, if a house is uninhabited, it can be seized, referring to squatting rights in our country. That video garnered almost 4 million views.
This so-called squatter scam is something that's happening around the country. There's even videos telling people how to go in and take over an empty house. That was never how the law was supposed to work. And in Florida, we are going to take action today to end this scam and to protect the private property rights of our homeowners. You should not have anyone go on your property and take it over and then try to assert some rights. It's absurd. We're going to put an end to it today, and we'll be leading the way yet again in the process.
As we have more migrants moving into cities, more homelessness, we are going to see more of it, more squatting.
James Burling is a property rights attorney.
Child, let me press pause.
Squat in people's homes and take.
Go ahead.
DeSantis gets on my nerves. Why he always got to be like, and we'll be the first to do it. We're heading it all. Nobody gives a fuck, weirdo.
Well, I mean, he kind of is. I will say Texas is the first to. Abbott shut it down. He beat Florida, as far as it's now considered child abuse to get your child before 18 any type of trans care. So between Abbott and DeSantis over here, baby, they think they killing the game out here. But it's crazy that the laws have been so lax, and it's not even the laws have been so lax. Nobody's enforcing them. And then they're finding loopholes, and now we're having, I mean, it's just, y'all the ones that set it up. I don't know what to tell y'all. Y'all the ones that set it up, but
them over. He is reportedly has been arrested from immigration authorities this morning. TikTok finally suspended his account only after millions viewed his videos.
Lionel Moreno, who is a...
It says here, look, it says he has been wanted since April 2022. So for 2 years. And he came through Eagle Pass. Not Eagle Pass, Texas. He's been wanted for 2 years, and he's got enough balls to get on TikTok and go viral. Oh,
this is interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know he was wanted for 2 years. That's
Me
wild.
either.
A Venezuelan national crossed the southern border into Eagle Pass, Texas in April 2022. From there, he was enrolled on what is known as the Alternatives to Detention program, which allows federal authorities to track migrants who enter the country illegally once they are released into the United States interior. Migrants who are enrolled in the program, like Moreno, are required to report to federal immigration authorities on their whereabouts in the United States while enrolled in the program. However, Moreno did not do that and was listed as an absconder from the program. Moreno regularly shares on social media how he scams the system to receive money from the federal government, food stamps, and shows his social security card in posts that we've reviewed. He claims that his wife and daughter receive $350 a month from the federal government, often flaunts the food and aid that they receive through the funding from these federal programs.
How? If you're here, excuse me, illegally, how did you get a state issued ID? And I understand you can get some fake stuff. Excuse me. But how are you able to receive, like, you're wanted by the feds, but you have a TikTok and you're receiving benefits?
This is wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Mm.
This
programs.
is
Moreno
American. You got to do better. You got to do better. You.
Not the feds looking for you for 2 years and you on TikTok showing off your food stamp card. Oh my goodness.
originally told federal authorities that his intended address in the United States was the Catholic Charities office in Miami. He has since been seen in posts in Columbus, Ohio. When Moreno failed to report to immigration authorities as part of the Alternatives to Detention tracking program, ICE in Miami did mail him his court date. In one social media post, Moreno said that he has been in the US for over a year and has not had to work one day. He said, quote, "I've concluded that the American dream is real. This is food of the best quality that they just give you." In a separate post, Moreno said, quote, "Work is for slaves, boys. Remember that work is for slaves. Where have you seen a millionaire work? Don't humiliate yourself. You have to be creative to ask for money," he said.
But first, I've got to ask you your thoughts on the squatter situation, because we just saw Governor.
Yikes. And I think they just go into more politics and look, there's DeSantis up here. Oh, well, let's listen to what he got to say. Every time I see him, I just picture him with his little high heel boots on. I can't help it. Like every time I see this man, I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Well, have you? I doubt when you got into politics that you ever imagined a day where you'd be hearing story after story after story of, people just commandeering other people's homes and then the courts protecting them. I know a case in New York. It went on 4.5 years before they were finally legally allowed to take back their home. Is this America?
Well,
this doesn't sound like the America I know. What?
No, Sean. And I mean, you think about things like, this idea of squatting when Americans were settling like the Old West, you'd go, you didn't know who owned it. There weren't records. So if people started a community there, then someone came 6 or 7 years later and claimed it was theirs. Well, that was different. It's an adverse possession. It was never intended that you could just go into some subdivision and break into a house and start living there, and then all of a sudden have all these rights vested. In New York, there was a case, and it was reported, where the homeowner went when someone had taken over her house, and the police did not evict the squatters. The police ended up arresting the homeowner.
I heard about that. The lady that did get arrested, she was over there fighting to get back in her house, and they turned around and arrested her. Hi, Buddy Lee.
Let's try, buddy. Yeah, that case right there was super, super unfortunate and irritating as hell, bro. Because could you imagine you going to jail trying to kick people out your own shit? That's crazy.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
And people out here that have been born citizens struggling, but you got wanted people, oh my God, getting government assistance. Like, this is crazy. On FedWatch, they don't have just no, failure to appear a warrant. They have a federal warrant. And they have food stamps and they're not all, what the same. I'm just gonna mute. I'm sorry.
Okay. I agree. I've said it before. The housing crisis is unbelievable, and I understand people are no longer looking into home ownership. But when you start digging deep into this, we need to put a ban on, because I understand people are flipping houses, and I own several properties, and blah, 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 I'm a landlord, blah blah blah. We need stiffer landlord laws, and we need to stop corporations from buying up, monopolizing on property. We really do.
Yes. And that's what I was gonna say. Like, if we're noticing, because he just did the whole spiel of why squatters law even existed. If we're realizing that these laws that were written from Wild Wild West days are not working, shouldn't we start now sitting down and looking over the laws as a whole that predate
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Anything before slavery should be, or anything before slavery should be looked at and redone.
I agree.
The years, you know what I'm saying? Not that's what I mean. The time frame of the years, because those are considered old laws.
Mm-hmm. That are no longer relevant or suit today's needs, today's protections. Hey, none done care. What's observing stuff in the future? I could be a landlord because I own a house. Mm-hmm. You've got to be aware, and it's just it's not in this clip, I don't think, and I'm done with DeSantis and all this. So let me stop sharing with y'all. But let me DeSantis was like, he was saying something like, if you own your property and somebody's there, feel free to shoot them here in Florida. He was like, we encourage it. We encourage you to shoot any type of home invader. I said, I know that's right. But we also have to be mindful that there's also this new little well, it's not new, but there's the scam where they're like writing up fake leases and fake deeds and stuff like that. Like I just watched a video yesterday of a 77-year-old woman and her husband getting kicked out of their house because they had lived there for like 50 years or something. And it was a fake deed. They had been scammed and a fake deed and had lived there for so long, but they had to get out because it was a fake deed. Like we've got to really crunch down on this. We have a homeless crisis, housing crisis, immigration. We've got to clean house. I don't know why we're so scared to shut down some stuff real quick. If the government can shut down, remember we used to have all these government shutdowns because they couldn't figure it out. Why can't we do the same for our country? Why can't we shut it down?
Right.
Real quick. Give us 6 months to come in and let's clean up. Let's revise some things. Let's, there's just, it can be done. And it's going to get to the point where there's going to be some civil altercations, state versus state versus, we just seen it with Texas, state versus the feds. We're going to start seeing more of that. I see Dougie Fresh is a Trump supporter in the chat. He's thinking, Trump will come in and all this will get cleaned up. Unfortunately, it won't. It won't. I mean, maybe it will start to get things back to where we're going, but no. It's not just going to take one president.
Oh, no.
This is going to take Mello.
Hello. It's going to be a lot. Our country has had a lot of damage done to it. And Trump has been here recently talking about there's a part of the Constitution where a president can run for as long as they want to if they deem it necessary. And something about they have to have the support of the people or something. There's more to it.
Yep.
And that's really what's going to have to happen. But what's going to happen first, in my opinion, is it's going to become state versus state. Trump may get his next 2. Because remember, he can only do 4.
Right.
And he's already done 2. So he's only got 2 left, right? He's only got 1 term left. He's already ran another term. So that's us expecting him to flip everything upside down in 2 years. I don't think he can do that. I don't think he can do that. I think he can get the ball rolling.
Yeah. But it's going to take more than that. It's Congress, y'all. We need to be going up against Congress. I understand we need a little president, a little representative. But these members of Congress, I want your feet to the fire, period.
And I've said that. Oh, my earbud fell out. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I've said that before. Yes, the president runs 4 years, 8 years, whatever. Congress can run a lifetime. Supreme judges can sit a lifetime.
Exactly.
They don't have
Term
limits on.
limits.
Hell no. Those are the people we got to look at.
Yep.
Because there's 90 motherfuckers on oxygen. And I'm not saying because they have COPD or a lung disease. I'm saying on oxygen because they old as shit. Sitting in there writing laws. No. No. And I really believe that, like, your children's age generation, if our generation in like the 20s don't change it, those will.
Mm-hmm.
Because they hear a lot of people speaking on it. We didn't hear a lot of that. You know, we were taught their terms and we were taught how it works, but it was never really brought to our attention. Like, these are the people you really need to pay attention to because they sit here all the time forever.
Yeah.
It was more the president. Worry about the president. Worry about the president.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there's still some boomers on Twitter that are like, "Oh, it's Reaganomics." I'm like, bro, it's 2024. Y'all still crying about Reaganomics? Y'all ain't done shit since then.
Hey.
Nah, we got to get up and do something. And
Uh-huh.
I didn't spend a lot of my 20s and my early 30s being concerned about stuff like that at all. I was
Right.
going through, I was living in my own little world. Now that I've gotten older into my later 30s, I'm like, wait, what? What's going on over here? And I wish I wish my parents were more politically affiliated as far as that goes with us as children, because we could have been, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, I wasted 10 years. I could have been activating or active, being an advocate or going against. I could have been did that, but I
Right.
wasn't interested. I wasn't taught to be interested in those things. you know
Mm-hmm.
what did Fundi say? You're either pretty or you're smart. Now I wanted to be pretty.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, we just have to be more aware of what's going on in your state representatives, Congress. It doesn't matter, Republican, Democrat, Independent. We've got to shake it up. We've got to shake it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I know old people they say, "Oh, you can't teach an old dog new tricks." Well, you're gonna have to learn them today. You're gonna have to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, same way you
Yeah.
learn how to use your little smartphone. Okay, you're gonna have to adapt.
Right. Adapt, please.
You're gonna have to adapt. So that's what I had today on my plate, Godmama. And
It was a good. I liked it because these are the current events that everybody is seeing all over the internet. You cannot turn social media on, the internet on, the TV on without hearing about Mr. Sean Combs and his shenanigans
mm-hmm.
and the good old immigrants
and the squatters
and the squatters.
You know what I'm saying? I said it on our season finale. Like, how can I be mad at it? I can't be mad at the
Right.
immigrants taking advantage of a broke ass system.
No. Hopefully, and they're doing in the system, and a system. I will applaud you today. I will applaud you today because you did the right thing. You saw that people seen the hole and was taking advantage of it, and you went and shut that shit down. I appreciate it. Is it going to have a trickle down effect? Absolutely, but we will celebrate small victories.
We sure will. We
And
sure
this
will.
was a small victory because in a certain state, in few states now, you definitely can't have squatters. Definitely not a thing.
Yep. That's right. Fight for yours. Okay? Because they will take it. They will take it. Okay?
Please pay attention to your state legislation. If you don't give a hell about presidential, because I don't either, really pay attention to your state's legislation, please. Because if it ever comes back down to the republic, the state you live in is going to be the laws that you have to abide by. So
that's right. That's right.
be mindful of that. Because a lot of people are screaming that we about to have to divide again. So
And I'm gonna be right here in Texas. I don't know what to tell y'all.
okay.
I'm gonna be right here in Texas.
As much as everybody talks shit about Kentucky, I'll stick my ass right the fuck over there. Okay. I promise you.
Okay.
Because Kentucky ain't playing that ish either. Andy Brashear, he's a Democrat and he tries to pull his Democrat shit. But he realizes he's a Democrat in a majority Republican conservative state. So he has to, be a good Christian man. Yeah. And I'm okay with it.
That's another topic as well. Real quick, that's another trending topic. Real quick before we end the show, I guess the 31st was Easter, right? And
Right.
everybody's all upset because the White House put out that statement saying it's officially Trans Visibility Day, and like Twitter was on fire. They were just so upset, and I was like, "Yo, this Trans Visibility Day started like back in 2009 or something." But last year I was bitching about it because they made it like official or something. It wasn't White House official, but they said, "Hey, we see it and we accept it." Was
Right.
last year because March is Women's History Month, and I was throwing a big old fit last year about why did they wait till the very last
The
day of
last
Women's
day.
History Month? You know what I'm saying? I was getting all upset about it, and then now the Christians were so upset. Oh my gosh, it's Easter. Easter
It's not
regulates.
Easter.
Right. Easter regulates. It could be April 12th. It could be April 4th. It could be, you know what I'm saying? Easter comes and goes. But Trans Visibility Day has been their little day since 2009. I didn't find out until last year, but now I'm like, oh, come on now. Y'all should have been up on games. Y'all should have been up on these things. Y'all need to be
prepared,
aware.
right?
Educate yourself. Trans Visibility Day has been out here. Y'all just now seeing it.
Okay? So what cracks me up though, Fred, is the entitlement. That's what cracks me up. Is the entitlement of thinking that the president of the United States is supposed to only acknowledge one specific religion at all times. That's entitlement. But we don't have to get into that at a different time. Because we rolling up on an hour, and before we know, we're going to be at 2.
Okay. I promise you. That coffee hitting in right now. Ding!
Right?
But that's my cue to go scrub these floors away.
Amen.
All right, Godmomma. Thank you for being here with me today.
Yes. Thank y'all for being here today.
Thank y'all for
rich rising.
Yes. And we'll be back. We will be back. I don't know if we'll be back tomorrow, but we will be here Friday for sure. Okay? Thank y'all. Peace and blessings. We'll see y'all soon.